10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
From beautiful Saline in southeastern Michigan.
Around the world at sunsky.mysteries.com.
This is the 2009 Top 10 Webcam in the World winner. This is SETV.
Well, good evening, everybody. How you doing? Here comes the title song right now.
This message is transmitted at the request of the United States Office of Civil Defense. At 3:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, NORAD detected a long-range nuclear missile launch in North Korea. This missile is believed to be headed in the direction of the Los Angeles metropolitan area. It is believed that it will impact this area within the next 1.5 to 2 hours. All residents within a 400-mile radius of this area should seek a fallout shelter immediately.
The only real effect I can have is to create the impression that things aren't as bad as they are. To give our people time, the opportunity to survive.
I guess I just never realized I'd gone so far. We had lost so much control.
Totalitarianism doesn't need armies. It only needs to control a couple of things. The media and the ability to dispense privilege to some and withhold it from others. And of course, a weak and divided people helps.
Liberty is calling, the time has come.
There is only one holistic system of systems. One vast and immane, interwoven, interacting, multivariate, multinational dominion of dollars. Petrodollars, electrodollars, multi-dollars, Reichmarks, rims, rubles, pounds, and shekels. It is the international system of currency which determines the totality of life on this planet.
Wake up, America, the change it has begun. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring in your heart.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Surrounded by Idiots. You know, last night we had James Mapes on. He is a actor. He is one of the few actors that's actually appeared in more than one Star Trek franchise, both in the Next Generation and the original, with the original cast. It's pretty amazing. Anyways, he is a motivational speaker, as well as a registered hypnotherapist. And we had a great time on the show. We talked for an hour. It's up on the YouTube Illuminati channel. You can watch it there if you have, if you're watching this particular episode live, and I see absolutely no reason why you would be, but who knows? Maybe somebody has stumbled by the show and said, "Hey, I want to see what this bald guy wearing sunglasses has to say." At any rate, I am using the big boy microphone tonight, and at his behest, James Mapes' behest, I went ahead and took some of his suggestions. And he says what you should do before you go to bed at night, before you go to sleep, make a list of 5 things that you're grateful for. Doing that will, in fact, make you a little bit happier. It will make your life a little bit nicer because because it brings it to the forefront of your mind, and you'll be thinking of those 5 things that you are grateful for while you're sleeping, and it will affect you. It will affect your subconscious and everything else. Well, I did that last night, and I'll be damned if I can come up with more than 2 or 3 of them. So, unfortunately, I've been in a bad mood all day. The other thing he says is you have to face your fears. My fear, of course, is, as I have told you people before, here on Surrounded by Idiots, it's actually saying what I'm thinking. Because if I actually say what I think, well, there's going to be a knock at the door, and it's going to be Homeland Security or somebody like that to take me away to one of the FEMA camps. But be that as it may, I really don't give a crap anymore. So I have decided that I'm just going to go ahead and let it all hang out, and if people want to watch and interact with me, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. I really don't care anymore. Because, you see, a lot of people, they tell me, they write me emails and they send me instant messages and they tell me, Bill, you know, you really ought to, do more Christian stuff on your show. And then I have idiots that sent me an email last night that says, well, I'm finally glad you're not doing that dogmatic Christian crap anymore. And you know what? Here's the thing. Jesus is my Savior. And I don't care if you like that or not. I really don't give a crap anymore. And I am not a Bible scholar. I have never been a Bible scholar. I never will be a Bible scholar. I don't pretend to be a Bible scholar. I can't crack open the Bible and tell you, well, you know, in the 2nd verse of the Gospel of John, in the 3rd chapter and the 2nd verse of that, and you can see that this relates to this. I can't do that. I never have been able to. That's why I have people like Alex Bachman on and the ministers on. They're the ones that are Bible scholars, not me. I never have been, and I never will be. And then I get the people that decide that they know what's best for me and my network. And they tell me, you know what, Bill, you got to get off of that damned commercial crap that you got going, all those ads and stuff like that. Well, let me tell you guys something. I'm pouring just about every penny I have into this to get the word out, to try just a little bit, to try to wake people up to what's going on in this country and this world. It has gotten to the point, look at this, hang on. This right here, this is one of my shoes. These are the shoes that I can afford. Look. See this? The tops of my shoes are actually coming off from the soles of my shoes. This is what I can afford. I can't even afford a new pair of shoes. And people got to bitch and whine because I have advertisements on my pages? I'm not even going to tell you what I think of that. At any rate, let's get down to the show so we can get Homeland Security knocking on the door. You guys have probably already heard about the big, snarky Ann Romney and Hillary Rosen brouhaha over there on CNN and in the presidential election world, as it were. It turns out that Hillary Rosen, even though she was on CNN, is a bigwig over there in Washington, D.C., what with her working with Valerie Plame in the White House and visiting the White House 35 times in the past year. You know, meeting with dear leader and all of that kind of stuff. Well, wouldn't you know it, back when Sarah Palin was running for vice president, they were all, how dare you leave your children at home and work, you bad, bad mother. And now it's how dare you not work and stay at home, you bad, bad woman. So once again, If you are a conservative, you will not win. Everything you do is wrong. I'm a conservative, and everything I do apparently is wrong too. So what they're saying is, here's a gun, and you better use it before we take it away from you, by the way. Stick it in your mouth and pull the trigger, you conservative woman or you conservative man, because nothing you do is right. Because we are in control. So, at any rate, here's an audio clip that I have for you guys. You guys are going to really love this. This is the reading of an article that Ann Romney gave to the Boston Globe in 1994. That's 18 years ago for you guys in Ann Arbor. So let's listen to this audio clip. You might recognize the voice of the person reading it, and maybe I'll tell you who it was after the clip's over. Hang on 1 second. And here it comes.
Ann Romney, interviewed by Jack Thomas, the Boston Globe, on of her student days with Mitt at BYU. Ann Romney said, "Those weren't easy years. You have to understand, I was raised in a lovely neighborhood, as was Mitt, and at BYU we moved into a $62 a month basement apartment, cement floor. We lived there 2 years as students with no income. It was tiny. I didn't have money to carpet the floor, but you can get remnants, samples, so I glued them together, all different colors. It looked awful, but it was carpeting. We were happy. We were studying hard. Neither one of us had a job. Mitt had enough of an investment from stock that we could sell off a little at a time. Stock came from Mitt's father. When he took over American Motors, the stock was worth nothing, but he invested Mitt's birthday money year to year. Wasn't much, a few thousand, but he put it into American Motors because he believed in himself. And 5 years later, stock that had been $6 a share was $96. Mitt cashed it so we could live and pay for education. Now, Mitt and I walked to class together. We shared housekeeping, had a lot of pasta, tuna fish. We learned a lot of hard lessons. We had our first child in that tiny apartment. We couldn't afford a desk, so we used a door propped on sawhorses in our bedroom. It was a big door, so we could study on it together. And we bought a portable crib. We took the legs off. We put it on the desk while we studied. I had a babysitter during class time, but otherwise I'd hold my son on my lap while I studied. Right after Mitt graduated in 1975, we had our third boy, and it was about the time Mitt's first paycheck came along. So we were married a long time before we had any income, about 5 years as struggling students. Now, every once in a while, we say if things get rough, we can go back to a $62 a month apartment and be happy. All we need is each other and a little corner, and we'll be fine.
And that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, was none other than today's episode, a clip from today's episode of Rush Limbaugh. He found this article from 1994, 18 years ago, that Ann Romney gave to the Boston Globe. So, here we have a woman who is a breast cancer survivor, who has multiple sclerosis. She has a disease that is usually terminal. My sister-in-law has this disease. She can barely walk. She's not supposed to be driving or working. And this woman with these problems is taking care of 5 kids. And these twits, these idiots in Washington, D.C., got to start railing against her. What a bad, bad woman. She doesn't know anything about what women go through, the suffering that working women go through. Well, they, in fact, are idiots. Now, all of this crap, this attacking the other woman thing, this goes back, way back, to when the women's movement was hijacked to create a socialist feminist voting bloc. That's Gloria Steinem and all the rest of them back in the 60s. I was 10 years old when all of that stuff was happening, and I figured it out while it was happening, watching these idiots waxing poetically on the evening news. Back then, you only had basically 3 channels. You had ABC, NBC, and CBS, and that's the only way you could get the news. I, of course, watched Walter Cronkite. The whole point of this is that it's all fake, every damn bit of it. That doesn't diminish, however, the rights of women, or for that matter, the rights of men, because we're all equal, baby. Every single one of us, we're equal. It's only these people telling us that we're not equal. They're the ones that have been doing it, not us. Men, women, it's all the same thing. This goes back to when we should have said no instead of yes. Now think about that. Even in the Garden of Eden, we should have said no instead of yes. Just say no. This is why this is one of the main reasons why we're in the fix that we're in right now. People say yes instead of no. And better yet, hell no. Now, you could take that right to the Democrat Party, still trying to work their evil mojo in the country, and the damn fools are succeeding because we said yes instead of no. People like House Speaker Boehner out playing golf with Obama instead of saying no, better yet, hell no. Remember after the election in 2010, they said, oh, you know what, we're going to cut $1 trillion off the budget. We're going to cut $1 trillion, and you know what, we won that election. We're in charge of the Congress now, and we're in charge of the money, so we're gonna cut $1 trillion. And of course, Boehner pulled down his pants, hobbled up to the local 7-Eleven, got himself some lubricant, and bent over for the Democrats. And that went from $1 trillion to about $800 billion, and then $500 billion, and they finally wound up settling for like $6 million, and basically said yes instead of no. And here's my point in all of this: there's nothing wrong with being the party of no, but apparently the Republicans don't get it either. See, Republicans and Democrats, there's no difference. Let me tell you how a law is made. Here's how a law is made. The Democrat gets up and says, you know what, I got a really bad idea. And the Republican gets up and goes, you know what, I can make that idea even worse. And that's how we get laws in this country. Because they are completely, totally, and absolutely ignoring what they are supposed to be doing, and that is representing us. The government has grown to the point where it is now the king. These people have done this. It's both parties. It's not Democrats and it's not Republicans. It's both parties. As a matter of fact, these guys in Washington, D.C. are so evil. If the San Andreas Fault split apart, there'd be tiny little donkeys and elephants coming up out of the ground in flames, coming up out of the pits of hell. That's how evil these people are. And it's up to us, the citizens, who have to stop it. Unfortunately, now we're being told that if we believe in the Constitution and the limitation of government, we are now potential terrorists and need to have them keep their eyes on us. And don't forget, turn in your neighbors, the ones that talk about the Constitution. You know what you want to do? You want to turn in your neighbors that are talking about stuff like that, because they're obviously terrorists. And, well, we got to take care of that. So, at any rate, that is my rant for this evening, because I really don't give a crap anymore. Honest to God, I don't. So, there you go. We are, in fact, working on having a call-in line. We will probably have that going by the end of this weekend so people can call in. It's a call-in line that, well, it'll ring right here on the show. It'll be great. So when I answer the phone, you'll be on the air so you can demonstrate whether or not you are, in fact, an idiot. My name is Bill Zam. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And listening, too, by the way, on the audio feed. And we'll see you probably tomorrow night when I will tell you why I don't give a crap anymore again, or some more, on a different subject. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow night, but there aren't many people going to be happy when I get done. I can tell you that right now, because, well, I'm just plain fed up. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.